A woman found an envelope marked $5,500 on the street and brought it to the police. They thanked her for being a good citizen, and she left. A short time later, they opened the envelope to see if they could find information about the owner. And that's when they saw what she had done. Now they are asking for your help in finding her. According to Wu Fi, police in Massachusetts are attempting to track down an unnamed woman after she returned a thick Citizens Bank envelope, labeled $5,500.00 on the front, without ever opening the package. After the unidentified woman returned the envelope, authorities cut it open, trying to ascertain who owned the enormous sum of cash. However, when police opened the envelope, all they found was a pile of old newspaper clippings and a note that read, "Sorry, just a prank." Nevertheless, the police have emphasized how impressed they were by the woman's honesty and integrity, praising her for having the self-control to leave the Citizens Bank envelope unopened, even though it professed to contain thousands of dollars. But it's always refreshing to see honest people. We know there are so many more honest people than dishonest ones, but in our line of work, we don't usually meet them, Hingham Police wrote on Facebook. A woman found this envelope from Citizens Bank with $5,500.00 written on it Saturday in a Hingham parking lot, and without even opening it, came to our police station to turn it in, added the department. We opened it, but it actually contained newspaper that was cut up to look like cash with a note inside saying it was a prank. Our point is she didn't know it was a prank and did the right thing. After the story of the honest woman who turned in the prankster's envelope surfaced, police actually received a separate envelope, this one purporting to contain even more money. They shared that story on Facebook as well. We had two separate incidents where people found envelopes filled with cut-up newspaper resembling cash. But they were found on Friday in the Darby Street shop's parking lots. They both turned them in without even opening them, wrote Hingham Police. It was a prank by someone, but it reminds us of all the honest people among us who are doing the right thing. It's always reassuring to see that, but especially this time of year. A prank that brought out the best in people. The post immediately started gaining traction on Facebook, with social media users applauding the unnamed individuals who turned in the envelopes without ever opening them, even though the ordeal turned out to be a prank in the end. Stories like this one certainly serve to restore our faith in humanity. Please share so that others might be inspired to do the right thing, too. The Hingham Police Department has made it clear that while the prankster's intentions may have been mischievous, the responses of the individuals involved showcased an inspiring level of honesty. People often assume the worst about human nature, but these two separate incidents remind us that good-hearted people are everywhere, a spokesperson for the department shared. They emphasized how these actions reflect the core values of integrity and community spirit, which are often overshadowed by negativity in the news. The first woman, whose identity remains unknown, captured the attention of the police and the public for her remarkable self-restraint. Finding an envelope labeled with such a large sum could tempt anyone, but she didn't even peek inside, said one officer. It's these small but powerful decisions that show us the strength of moral character. The second Good Samaritan, who turned in the $9,200 envelope, echoed the same sentiment of honesty. When interviewed by local media, they stated, "I figured it was best to leave it to the authorities. You never know who might desperately need that money, and I didn't want to stand in the way of its return." Despite the prank's comedic undertone, the police are investigating the origins of the envelopes. They noted the pattern of both envelopes being found in the same general area and hinted that surveillance footage might provide clues about the prankster. While the act itself may not be criminal, the police want to discourage such pranks, as they can lead to unnecessary confusion and concern. Hingham residents have rallied around the story, with many taking to social media to express their pride in the honest individuals. One resident commented, "It's amazing to see people doing the right thing, even when they think no one is watching. This gives me hope for our community." The incident also sparked a broader conversation about integrity in everyday life. Social media users shared stories of times they, too, found valuables and turned them in. One commenter wrote, "I once found a wallet with $200 in it and handed it to the store manager. The owner later thanked me." These stories remind us that kindness is contagious. In a surprising twist, local businesses have started offering rewards to the two individuals. A nearby bakery has promised a year's supply of free coffee to the first woman, and a local gym offered a free membership to the second Good Samaritan. "It's our way of celebrating honesty," said the bakery's owner. The Hingham police have called on the community to help identify the first woman, not to reprimand her, but to thank her publicly. "She did the right thing without expecting anything in return," said a department spokesperson. "That kind of character deserves recognition." While the prankster's identity remains unknown, the envelopes have inadvertently highlighted the goodness that exists within the community. Many are using the story as a teaching moment for their children. "I told my kids about this at dinner last night," said one parent. It's a perfect example of doing the right thing no matter the outcome. Ultimately, the prank that could have left people frustrated instead brought out acts of honesty and generosity, reinforcing the idea that a good deed, no matter how small, can inspire others. As the search for the Good Samaritan continues, one thing is certain: their actions have left a lasting impact on the community and beyond. The Hingham Police Department's story has spread far beyond the local community, with national media picking up the tale of the unnamed Good Samaritans. News outlets praised the individuals for their selflessness and highlighted the heartwarming response from both the police and the public. One anchor called the situation a refreshing reminder of how people can rise to the occasion, even when faced with temptation. Some residents have suggested the police host an event to honor the anonymous individuals, with others offering to sponsor it for their honesty. "We want to celebrate these everyday heroes," said a local business owner. "It's not just about what they did, but about what their actions represent, a sense of integrity that's often missing in the world." The story has also prompted a wave of random acts of kindness throughout the town. Inspired by the good deeds, locals have reported buying coffee for strangers, volunteering at food banks, and even starting a community honesty pledge. One resident shared, "This story really touched me. It reminded me how small acts of decency can have a ripple effect." Meanwhile, police have increased their efforts to locate the prankster, hoping to discourage similar stunts in the future. So while they acknowledged the prank wasn't malicious, they emphasized the resources and time diverted to investigating it. "This could have ended differently if someone less honest had found the envelopes," an officer explained. "Now we want to ensure this doesn't become a trend." Despite the prank's origins, many see the story as a testament to the power of good intentions. Commenters on social media debated whether the prankster unintentionally did a service to the community. "If anything, they accidentally brought out the best in people," one post read. "That's a silver lining if I've ever seen one." As the search continues for the first Good Samaritan, the police have expressed gratitude for the overwhelming positivity surrounding the incident. So we hope this story inspires others to always choose honesty and kindness, the department shared in a follow-up statement. "It's a reminder that even the smallest actions can make a big difference in the world." The incident has even caught the attention of local schools, with educators incorporating the story into lessons about ethics and community values. Teachers have used it as a real-world example to spark discussions about integrity in decision-making. "We asked our students what they would have done if they found the envelope," said a high school teacher. The responses were thoughtful, and many said they were inspired by the woman's actions to always strive to do the right thing, even when it's difficult.